Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Welcome back. We're looking at the last question in Part B, question 20, from our 2010 Grade 7 Gauss paper. Andy, Jen, Sally, Mike, and Tom are sitting in a row of 5 seats. Andy is not beside Jen. Sally is beside Mike. Who cannot be sitting in the middle seat? Okay. So my gut instinct says, I think it's Tom. And my reasoning for why it's Tom, I will get into in a moment. I think there's 2 ways to do this question. I think there's the sort of guess and checky way, and then I think there's the way that I just reasoned it. But I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be E, Tom, because he's the one who's not mentioned. And it's not sort of it's a general trick that the one who's not mentioned is the one you go for. But it's a symmetry argument. Now, let's go through it one particular way, and then I'll talk about why I think it's just Tom right from the get-go. Okay, so what could we do? Well, we've got Andy, Jen, Sally, what was the other guy? I think it was Mike and Tom. It was Mike, right? Yeah, Mike. Okay. And we know Sally and Mike must be right beside each other. And Andy and Jen are not right next to each other. So if I imagine 5 seats here, I might be able to say, okay, could Andy be in the middle? And, well, could Andy be in the middle? Is there a way to make Andy in the middle, but have Andy not next to Jen? So maybe put Jen over here. Still have Sally and Mike beside each other. And Tom can just sort of fit in wherever, right? Well, this works out just fine. This works out absolutely fine. So that means Andy could be in the middle. This is a way to seat these people. Okay, so the answer is not Andy. Could Jen be in the middle? Well, think about it. We could still put Sally and Mike over here and Tom over here and Andy here. So yeah, Jen could fit in the middle. There's a way to arrange these people so Jen is in the middle seat. Okay, how about Sally? Can we get Sally in the middle? Well, Sally needs to be next to Mike, so maybe we put Mike here. Now, we can't have, I keep saying, yeah, it is Andy. Okay, I wanted to say Andrew. Andy, can't put Andy and Jen like this, because then they'd be next to each other. So they've got to be separated. Maybe we put Jen over here. Andy goes here, and we can put Tom where we want, so because Tom doesn't seem to have any particular attachment or hatred for anyone. So the answer's not Sally, because here's a situation where everything they've told us is true, but Sally's in the middle. Okay? Same sort of thing with Mike. We could still put Jen over here, and Andy over here, and Tom here, and Sally here. And Mike's in the middle. But now when it comes to Tom, we have a problem. The same problem I mentioned a moment ago with sort of Andy and Jen. So Sally and Mike need to be together. So they could either be over here or over here, and their particular order doesn't matter. It's not Mike must be on the right of Sally or anything like that. So we can just put Mike and Sally here, but that would force Andy and Jen over here, but they can't be sitting next to each other. Well, then we must have put Mike and Sally in the wrong spot. Right? That simply must be the case. Andy and Jen have to be separated, so maybe we put Jen over here, and then but Tom will be sitting in the middle of Mike and Sally. And you can sort of back and forth about this, but you realize, well, Tom is the only person left. We've figured out that everyone else can go in the middle, but you can see why Tom can't. Okay? So it's impossible for Tom to be in the middle. He splits it into 2 pairs of seats. Sally and Mike must take 1 pair, and that forces Andy and Jen to be beside each other in the other pair. So the answer is going to be Tom. Now, you can sort of reason your way through it that way. But here's how I was able to get the question very quickly, and no, I didn't look at the answer ahead of time or something like that. But I thought about the conditions we're given. Sally and Mike need to be next to each other, and Andy and Jen need to be away from each other. But read that again. Mike and Sally. Now, I'm reversing the order. Mike and Sally need to be next to each other. Jen and Andy need not be next to each other. And look at the way I filled things in up here. When I had a situation with Andy in the middle, I just swapped him and Jen, and then I get a situation where Jen's in the middle. Okay, when I had Sally in the middle, wherever Mike was, I just swapped the two. I get a situation where Mike's in the middle. We don't know where these people are. Are they on the left or on their right? Is Andy 2 spaces down from Jen? We don't have any information like that forces sort of an asymmetry. So if the answer were something like Andy can't be in the middle, by the same reasoning, Jen can't be in the middle. Because Andy and Jen, wherever they are, as long as they're sitting down and following the rules, wherever Andy and Jen are, they could swap places. Okay? So if there's a way for Jen to be in the middle, there's a way for Andy to be in the middle. Just wherever Jen is sitting in the middle, wherever Andy is, just have them swap places, and everything will still work out. Okay? Same with the Sally and Mike sitting side by side, so there's a symmetry to them. So whatever Sally can do, wherever Sally can sit, Mike could also sit there. And the same sort of reasoning, if Sally can't sit somewhere, there's no way Mike could sit there. If he could, then Sally could have sat there. But we said she couldn't. Okay? So since Sally and Mike do the same thing, and since Andy and Jen can do the same thing, and it's not immediately obvious that this is the case, you have to sort of, it sort of jumped out at me when I read it. It's that, well, they're beside each other, not something like Mike must be on the right of Sally. If it were something like that, then that would force certain situations where Sally can sit somewhere and Mike can't. Okay? Like at the very end of a row. Okay? So when I realized that, I thought, okay, who doesn't have a buddy? Who isn't paired by some condition? And it's Tom. Tom's the person who's left out. Okay? Because you got to remember, there's only one answer to these multiple choice questions. So in on a different contest, in a different world, where there are multiple answers to the multiple choice contest, this trick wouldn't work. Okay? Because it could be possible that both Andy and Jen are the answer. But because it's a Gauss made by Waterloo, and there's only one answer, and I realized, well, Andy and Jen are interchangeable, and Mike and Sally are interchangeable, so neither can be the answer. It's got to be Tom. So that was sort of the fast way. I know it's taken a while for me to explain this, but I really want to convey the concept appropriately, so maybe in the future it'll jump out at you too. Okay? And if it didn't, that's okay. We've gone through it sort of a slower but still fairly methodical way. I just took each person in turn and said, okay, can they be in the middle? And I just tried to follow the rules. Okay? Now I did Tom at the end. When I was following the rules here, when I was filling in these seats, I did Tom at the end. What if I had decided to do Tom in the middle? Well, I would have gotten fairly frustrated. I might have been able to work out, with the same reasoning I did down here, that Tom can't be in the middle. But if I get stuck, I might just move to someone who's a little easier to work with. Because if I can rule out everyone, the person who's left has to be the right answer. Okay? So, yeah, Tom E. I said that a while ago, but I wanted to write it down. So the answer is E. Tom. Tom is the guy who can't be in the middle. Either, by symmetry, or because if he's in the middle, he splits the seats up in the way, in such a way that not every condition can be satisfied. Okay, so that finishes up part B. Up next, we'll be starting Part C with question number 21. Feel free to give them a try before you start watching the videos, and I will see you there.